It's all too easy to remember the big money moves and the times the club got their transfer target spot on. But the dealings that didn't quite work out are just as important in the history of a side. So with that said, here are 16 players Manchester United missed out on and who they signed instead. For more brilliant Planet Football features, including how Man United's worst ever signing led to one of their greatest days, subscribe to our new channel. 16. Alan Shearer. Alex Ferguson's pursuit of Alan Shearer was no secret, and after missing out on the England striker, he continued to keep tabs on him going into the summer of 1996. The Daily Mail reported that United were ready to offer Blackburn Rovers £30 million for Shearer, but Rovers chairman John Williams remained resolute and claimed his star striker was not for sale. And so Shearer stayed at Ewood Park for another season before finally completing his long-awaited move to Newcastle United. Who they signed instead? After failing to land their top choice, United opted for £7 million Andy Cole from Newcastle. The Magpies were hesitant to sell a player they had only signed 2 years earlier to their northeast rivals, but they had little choice given the player's determination to push through with the move. Cole went on to score 121 goals in 6 seasons for the Red Devils, forming a formidable partnership with Dwight York. Number 15, Gabriel Batistuta. Batistuta's links to United suggested Ferguson was still keen on a certain type of striker a few years later, and the Argentine was seemingly keen on a move to Old Trafford. In fact, he stated publicly that he was open to playing in the Premier League and that he wanted to play alongside his idol, Eric Cantona. United apparently agreed a fee with Fiorentina, but Batigo ultimately decided against a move to Manchester and instead pushed through a transfer to Roma. Who they signed instead? Dwight York. York joined United in January of 1998 for £12.6 million and formed a devastating partnership with Andy Cole as the Red Devils won the treble that season. The Trinidadian scored 66 goals in 3 seasons at Old Trafford before leaving for Liverpool in 2000, number 14 Ronaldinho. The prospect of Ronaldinho in Manchester is one of the great what-ifs, leaving us licking our lips at the thought of the move coming off. The Manchester Evening News reported that United had agreed a fee with PSG in 2002, but the player's father and agent claimed nothing had been agreed. Ronaldinho would go on to join Barcelona, where he enjoyed arguably his most successful period as a player, winning 2 La Liga titles and a Champions League. Who they signed instead? Having failed to land Ronaldinho, United signed £33 million Juan Sebastian Veron from Lazio. Despite showing glimpses of his quality, the Argentina playmaker struggled to live up to his price tag and was sold back to his native country after just 2 seasons. Number 13, Michael Essien. United were interested in Essien on a couple of occasions, first considering signing him as a 17-year-old back in 2000, and then moving for the more complete player when it emerged that Lyon would be willing to sell. However, both times the powerhouse midfielder ended up joining Chelsea, much to the frustration of United fans. Who they signed instead? In 2003, United signed 24-year-old Bulgarian Dimitar Berbatov from Bayer Leverkusen for £30 million. The deal made Berbatov the most expensive player in the history of football at the time. However, he was unable to replicate his Bundesliga form in England and ended up leaving for Tottenham 4 years later. Number 12, Gareth Bale. The race to sign Gareth Bale from Southampton was a fierce one, with United one of many English clubs keen on the teenage sensation. A move to Old Trafford looked to be on the cards after the Red Devils activated his £7 million release clause. But Bale would eventually join Tottenham, of course, and endured a long winless run at the start of his Spurs career before eventually coming into his own and outgrowing the London club. Who they signed instead? As mentioned, Bale joined Tottenham and would go on to make 203 appearances for them over the course of 6 seasons, scoring 55 goals and providing 58 assists. In 2013, he completed a world record £85 million move to Real Madrid, where he won 4 Champions League titles and helped himself to 104 goals in 251 games. Number 11, Aaron Ramsey. 2 years, 2 Welsh talents who chose London over Manchester. United agreed a fee with Cardiff for Ramsey, even publishing the news on their website, in what strikes us as the move of a club extremely confident of getting their man. The then teenager chose Arsenal instead, though. later saying he felt more wanted there. Who they signed instead? Having failed with Ramsey, United signed 19-year-old Bebe on loan from Portuguese side Vitória de Guimarães. The forward made just 2 appearances for the club, both in the Europa League, and was sent back to Portugal after a single season before returning to England with Birmingham City. Number 10. Moises Caicedo, Ed Woodward, hang your head in shame. It's no secret United need a new midfielder, and the club's hierarchy have been made well aware of this for months. Yet despite knowing the rebuild would take some time, United still decided to part ways with Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic in the same transfer window, leaving them short in the middle of the park. It's no wonder then that they were linked with Ecuadorian wonder kid Moises Caicedo, who has really caught the eye with his performances in the 2022 World Cup. At 18, he's already a regular for his country and has established himself as one of the most exciting young players in the world. If United had snapped him up, they'd have solved a problem position for years to come. Who they signed instead? Casemiro. At the age of 30, Casemiro is more of a short-term solution than the long-term fix that Caicedo would represent. But having impressed during his 9 seasons at Real Madrid, including winning 5 Champions League titles, the Brazilian should still prove to be a shrewd piece of business. Number 9, Wesley Sneijder. One of the great never-ending transfer sagas. In 2011, Sneijder admitted he had held unofficial talks with United over a move from Inter, but a source at Old Trafford told The Guardian the following day that the midfielder would not be joining. And that was pretty much that. United fans have been told about their interest in the Dutchman ever since. Who they signed instead? As it turned out, United didn't need to sign a new midfielder because they already had one of the best in the world right under their noses. Phil Jones burst onto the scene in 2011-12, establishing himself as a key part of the team and helping them to their 20th league title that term. Number 8, Manuel Neuer. In 2016, Sir Alex Ferguson told Sky that United almost signed Manuel Neuer instead of David De Gea, only for goalkeeping coach Eric Steele to insist on the Spaniard. Eric Steele had been scouting David De Gea for quite a while, but then Neuer came on the scene at Schalke, Ferguson said. And I think Schalke would have been happy if we would have gone and taken him. Neuer would go on to spend the entirety of his professional career at Bayern Munich and is widely regarded as one of the best goalkeepers of all time. Who they signed instead? De Gea joined United in June of 2011 for an initial £17.8 million and has since made over 500 appearances for the club. Although he's not been able to replicate his early form, he remains a key member of the squad. Number 7, Eden Hazard. I came to watch Lille play Lyon and followed Hazard, of course, along with other players, Alex Ferguson told RMC Sport in 2012. He's a very good player who has many qualities. He's particularly fast over the first 10 yards. United had allegedly agreed personal terms with the then 21-year-old, but Lille president Michel Seydoux confirmed Chelsea had beaten them to his signature. Hazard would go on to enjoy his best years at Stamford Bridge, winning 2 Premier League titles and a Europa League before moving to Real Madrid in 2019. Who they signed instead? With the Hazard deal falling through, United signed 27-year-old Robin van Persie from rivals Arsenal for £24 million. Van Persie netted 30 times in his debut season, firing United to their 20th league title. Number 6, Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos had agreed to come to Manchester United with me, David Moyes told TalkSport in 2018, referring to the summer of 2013 when he had just replaced Alex Ferguson as manager at Old Trafford. But after I'd been there a couple of months, he went to Real Madrid. Despite United agreeing a fee with Bayer Leverkusen for the Germany international, the move collapsed after Kroos changed his mind. Who knows where things would have turned out differently had he moved to Old Trafford instead of the Bernabeu. But we're pretty sure United would have benefited from a world-class central midfielder like Kroos during their post-Ferguson struggles. Who they signed instead? Marouane Fellaini. Number 5, Ilkay Gundogan. Heading into the final year of his contract at Borussia Dortmund in the summer of 2015, the jury was out on Gundogan. An obviously talented player, but often unable to show it consistently due to fitness issues. United supposedly saw this as an opportunity to snap him up for a cut price, but in typical fashion, they failed to get a deal over the line. Guardiola, meanwhile, identified the playmaker as a key part of his new look side and offered him a 4-year deal. That proved to be a masterstroke, as Gundogan has gone on to become one of City's most important players, making over 300 appearances and winning 4 Premier League titles in the process. Who they signed instead? United's priority at the time was a striker, and they ended up signing 22-year-old Anthony Martial from Monaco for £36 million. Now, this actually worked out pretty well for United, with the Frenchman going on to make over 300 appearances for the club and netting 83 goals. Number 4, Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos is determined to leave Real Madrid and join Manchester United this summer. According to sources close to the player, the Spain captain wants away from the Bernabeu after struggling to agree a new contract with the European champions, wrote The Guardian on June 29, 2015. United were apparently willing to pay £29 million for the defender, but nothing came of the move. Who they signed instead? United signed 22-year-old Memphis Depay from PSV Eindhoven for £25 million. The Netherlands international was a bit of an enigma during his time at Old Trafford, and he only managed to score 7 times in 53 appearances before leaving for Lyon in 2017. Number 3, Erling Haaland. United have missed out on so many signings in the Ed Woodward era that we dedicated an entire article just to those. And even that was far from conclusive, with Louis van Gaal alone listing 10 targets he passed on to the chief executive that never came to pass. One of those was teenage sensation Erling Haaland, and it's safe to say that after his exploits for Borussia Dortmund and now Manchester City, United fans must look back at that decision with a shudder. Who they signed instead? January of 2020, United signed 33-year-old Odion Ighalo on loan from Shanghai Shenhua. The Nigeria international was a bit of a squad player during his 18-month stay, and he only managed to score 5 goals. Number 2, Dayo Upamecano. Despite being linked with a move to United, the Red Devils weren't even in the running to sign Upamecano, who was always expected to join Bayern Munich. And that's exactly what happened at the end of the 2020-21 season after the German Giants triggered his £42 million release clause. Who they signed instead? Victor Lindelof. If you enjoyed this video, please like and leave a comment.